You're tired of feeling like your connection with your teen is strained? And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the top thing that might be contributing to this situation and what I've learned in my own life and with my clients that can help you turn that around. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Sonia Weyers, your happiness guide and Gestalt therapist. And in this channel, I help women in midlife who care deeply about their relationships, but there's conflict, tension, or stress. I help them to find more moments of true connection. Does your teen not want to talk to you? Do they push you away? Or do they roll up their eyes? Do you recognize these symptoms? They are signs of a hurting relationship with your teenager. I have 4 kids and only one of them is still a teenager, so I've been learning a lot on the go. And now I want to help you to have a good relationship with your teenager, but especially with your young adult down the road. So watch this video about the top way that you might be hurting your relationship with your teen and how to turn that around. The world has been changing fast, and our teens have access to information and skills that really weren't even around when we were their age. One of the things that's been aggravating for teens for generations and generations is when the parents say that they know better, just because they're the parents, you know? Now, obviously, there's still things that we know better from our experience, but the one thing that we really do not know better than them is what's best for them and for their path. My youngest daughter was in middle school during the whole COVID situation, and she had a really tough time in school. Maybe you know some people who were in the same situation. She got into a very difficult place, and she kept saying that she was managing everything, even though there were clear signs that she wasn't, and that was really hard as a parent to watch that. And she also said that we actually could not help her, which was even harder. She wanted to figure it out on her own, which was really scary. But her dad and I did our best to support her, especially after a teacher from her school called us in to talk about how she seemed demotivated and he really wanted to help. So the school provided some support to her. We tried to support her as best we could. She eventually found her own way out of that tricky situation and made it to quite a good school after she finished high school. So I certainly don't know everything about teenagers, but in this case, the events as they unfolded validated my intuition, which was that she needed to find her own way out of this and that she needed to find her own path like we all do. So the top thing that you might be doing that would hurt your relationship with your teenager is being on a high horse about how you know better. So I could tell you many more stories, but right now I'd like to get into how you turn that around. And it's called humility. Especially during the teenage years, if you tell your child that you know better, you're likely to have either an open conflict or a shut-down child, neither of which is really desirable, right? So it's a really fine line between setting limits on the one hand and completely stifling your child on the other hand. And each parent has to figure out their own balance in their own way. But I really want to emphasize listening. Ultimately, everyone is the authority on their own reality, right? And as parents, it's our responsibility to guide our kids, but one day they're going to become adults. And that transition is where it's hard because often our teens feel that they're more mature than they really are. And so it's really legit hard for everyone involved. Hit the like button if you've been there. So the listening I'm talking about is listening to hear, not listening to respond. It's definitely not always easy, and it does require a bit of humility. But that's how your teen is going to really know that you care. During my daughter's difficult year, her dad and I had decided to sign her up for an art elective. She had shown some interest in it, and we thought it would be good for her. I had personally done the sign up, but I hadn't got around to telling her. Things had been a bit tense with her, and I thought it could wait a bit. But when she found out, she let me know with full force how she felt about that, quite precisely. I listened and I remained calm. I just corrected her when she said things about me that were incorrect, such as that I didn't care or things like that. And I just stayed present. This went on for about 45 minutes. When she was done, she seemed to feel some relief. She was fully expressed and she just went about the rest of her day. I, on the other hand, was a bit shell-shocked, and it took me, frankly, about 24 hours to process all the hostility that had been thrown at me just then. But you know what I gained that day? My kid knew that I could listen to her no matter what she had to say. But you know what? It's not for us to say if we're being good parents to our teens. It's really up to them a bit later. But the least we can do is to do our part to keep the connection. Why don't you put teens in the comments if you would like more videos about this topic?